hope you are all doing good and enjoying this beautiful fall weather wherever you may be. And also enjoying storybooks, whether at the library or at school or with parents. Remember our tree book from last time? Well, we're going to continue reading it and learn more about how trees are made and what they're good for. Alright, here's our tree book. Let's get started. Alright, let's learn more. So, this page says, sugar turned into starch is stored in the tree trunk and roots for use when trees have no leaves to make its food. Have you guys wondered how trees live when they don't have any leaves? Well, let's find out. The sugar is dissolved by the sap and carried to all parts of the tree as food. When the tree makes more sugar than it needs, the remainder is sent as sap through the cells of the inner bark to the trunk and roots. There, the sugar is turned into starch, which in the form of grains separates the sap into the cells. Thus, the tree can store food for use when it cannot carry on photosynthesis. So basically, when the leaves are on the trees, they store sugar in the roots, and then in the wintertime, the sugar that's in the roots feeds the tree. So let's take a look and see what happens to trees in the springtime. It says that in the spring, the tree's food moves back up into the branches, to the growing parts of the tree. So later, as in early spring, when the tree begins to grow but has no leaves to make food, the starch is changed back to sugar. This time, the sugar moves in the sapwood to the buds and is used to make cellulose of cell walls. It is also used in making the protein, fats, and many other materials needed by the cells, which grow to form leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. The roots of sugar maples send up so much sugar in spring that the sap tastes slightly sweet. Maple syrup is made from it by boiling off most of the water. You guys like maple syrup? Same here. So we are moving on to conifers, which are evergreen trees. All trees are members of two general groups of classes. Those that have cones and needle-like leaves belong to the conifer group. Their seeds are attached to the upper side of the cone scale and fall out in warm weather. There are about 500 species or kinds of conifers. Pines are the best known. Many of this group can be recognized by their cones. Sugar pines have the largest cones. They grow from 12 to 15 or more inches long and take 2 years to mature. The smallest cones are those of hemlock, no larger than an acorn. Pinyon pines have short, rounded cones with curling scales that make them look like flowers. So here we have a picture of balsam fir, sugar pine cone, white pine cone, hemlock cone, this little one, and then there's pine cone, winged seed, and cone scale. Pretty cool, huh? Conifers usually have a single trunk, their branches becoming shorter as they near the top, forming a triangular outline. The long, thin leaves of pines grow in groups and look as though they are tied together at the base. Different species of pines can sometimes be partly identified by number of needles in a cluster. Sugar pines and white pines have 5 needles in a group. Red pines and Virginia pines have two. Some pines have only one. So there's a picture of some pines. Sugar pines, white pines, red pine, Virginia pine, and pinon pine. They all look similar to me. What do you think? The leaves or needles of spruces and firs are short and stiff. They grow around the twigs in a way similar to bristles on a brush. Cedars have very thin needles, which lie flat against the branches and overlap each other. Most conifers keep their needles all year long and are often called evergreens. But every cone-bearing tree is not necessarily an evergreen. The tamarack has cones but sheds its leaves in the winter. So here's a picture of fir needles and hairbrush. Very similar. Alright, let's move on to a deciduous broadleaf tree. Trees with broad leaves, such as oaks, maple, and pollars, are members of the deciduous group. Their leaves fit into two general types, even though they have many shapes. A simple leaf is one having a single blade. A leaf with several small leaflets, or blades, growing from each side of the leaf stem is known as a compound leaf. So here we have a maple tree. There's a maple leaf, simple, and a cottonwood, simple, an ash leaf compound. See how the leaves are growing from one stem? A lot of them. It's called compound. Deciduous trees lose their leaves in autumn as the daylight hours become shorter and the nights colder. The work of the leaf cells slows down. A layer of loosely connected cells form almost completely across the base of each leaf, and the sap tubes from the stem into the leaf are closed. This cuts off the leaf's water supply, so it dries out and dies. The cells at the base of the stem also shrivel and pull apart, and so the stem breaks and the leaf falls. As leaves become dry, trees change their color. Interesting. That is an oak tree. And this dry and brittle leaf is ready to fall. During the weeks that the leaves are slowly drying out, we have the delightful autumn colors. The green chlorophyll disappears, uncovering yellow and orange pigments. In the leaves of some trees, the last of the sugar is used to make red pigments. Usually, the cells of the leaves also turn brown as they die. These changes lead to many shades of color. The weather also brings about these changes. A dry autumn causes the leaves to have dull, pale colors, while much rain produces deep, brilliant colors. There are exceptions to this group too. The holly is a broadleaf that is evergreen, and so are the live oaks that grow in the south and west. So here's a picture of some leaves. That's an oak leaf. This is a beech leaf. That's a maple leaf. And this, can anyone guess what that is? That's a holly, right? Wow, so much information. So many new facts about trees and leaves and why they fall during autumn. Are you guys learning a lot? I am. Alright guys, since you are learning so much, we're going to pause here and continue next time. And next chapter is going to be about palm trees. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember that you are important. You are a smart kid. And you are loved. I'll see you next time. Bye.